He tried to grab my titties, tried to grab my vagina. I don't like calling it a pussy. I think that's disgusting. I was like, dang me grabbing my bitch, Junior. Getting all lackadaisical lollygagging. He been sipping on some drinks all night. I was like, you straight up tripping, child. You straight up tripping.
Health, humor, life, learn, laugh, and thrive. Will entertain your brain, keep you healthy and alive. If you like paranormal, have a spiritual mind, or if you just want to listen and have a good time, then stay tuned now for a new episode as we turn off the beat and we start the show. Wiki wiki wah. Wiki wiki. And what you just heard was Shofanda Jones, who is making her debut on the Health, Humor, Life podcast next week. You guys won't want to miss that one. It's very entertaining. It's hilarious. If you like in-your-face comedy, that episode's going to be for you. If you don't really like in-your-face comedy and you're kind of an easily offended type, it might not be for you. Kind of like last week's with Jackson Wheeler, maybe not the best to listen to. But anyway, it's going to be very entertaining. It's what we're all about here. We're all about open-mindedness and humor and just many things about life and just kind of being as blatant as we possibly can, giving some good quality information, and also being very entertaining. That's what this is all about here at Health, Humor, Life. So thank you for listening. I appreciate all your support. Those of you who stick around with us, we are slowly growing and growing as I look at the numbers every single week, and they're constantly climbing. They've climbed a ton in a very short time since we started back up here. So I'm very thankful for you guys, for all your support and listening to it. And if you guys have any topic suggestions that you would like to hear about or anything discussed, please let me know. Send me an email, healthhumorlife.com/contact. All right, today I'm going to talk about a few different things. I just got back from New Orleans. I took a vacation for a week, and it was quite the experience. I never realized how much of a party town New Orleans was. My little brother actually just turned 21. I'm about to hit the big 3-0, so it was kind of a little celebratory week. He flew in from California. My mother and stepdad flew in with me from Maine over to New Orleans. We had an awesome time. It was amazing. Great food, great beer, great just spending quality time with family. Very enjoyable. My brother had a blast. It was one of his first times out. We did karaoke together. We did the Rapper's Delight. You know that song where it starts and then a hip hop, the hippie to the hippie, the hip hip, a hop. You don't stop, a rockin' to the bang bang boogie. You say up jump the boogie, and I'm getting these words wrong. You know, you get what I'm saying. It's a good song. It's a long. You never know with that. I've done it on karaoke a few times, and you never know what you're going to get with that. Sometimes they give you the 3-minute version, and sometimes they give you like the 7-minute version, which these all have different lyrics, by the way. And sometimes you get the 10-minute version, the full version. I ended up with the 10-minute version. My brother did the opening to it, and I did the rest. And I had no idea what to expect, but I made it through. So yeah, that was enjoyable. I haven't been on the stage in a while. Working on some comedy music right now, slowly but surely. Focus has been on other things, but I do want to have a comedy music album out by 2019, if not by the end of 2018. So anyway, getting to what I want to talk about today, we had a great time in New Orleans, but there, like anywhere you go or anything you see, there are some very, hard to watch or hard to witness parts of it, which kind of makes you think about your own life and just, all kinds of different things. And what I really witnessed in New Orleans was a lot of, poor people, homeless people that are, a lot of them just wandering the streets. I saw the same people like many times every single day. Sometimes drinking alcohol, sometimes not. And a lot of them had dogs with them, too. That was kind of the significant part of this. There were a lot of homeless people with dogs. And, I was honestly heartbroken as I was sitting there, with, like, enjoying time with my family, eating and everything, as I would see these people every day. And there was this one guy that I really took notice of, where he had, like, this beautiful dog with him. He was drinking alcohol. He got really mad at something. I think he dropped his phone and it broke, and then he just kind of threw the phone on the ground, smashed it, and the dog looked like extremely scared and everything. But, no matter what, some people look at these people as, scum of the earth, whatever. But in all honesty, for many years, I've worked with very low-income people who really struggle from day to day, and it's not always the case. Sometimes these people are just having a really hard time, and they just can't get ahead in life. And one thing that also comes to mind when I'm talking about this is we seem like, and I'm putting myself in this category too because I've done it in the past too, we seem like we live in our own little bubbles sometimes, and we forget like what the rest of the world is, and we kind of think of other people as, they should be able to live up to my expectations. They should live up to whatever expectations I feel like I can live up to. And a lot of these gurus you see online that are millionaires or whatever, or pretending to be millionaires, they're always talking about how, you can be whoever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do, no matter what. You just got to work at it, blah, blah, blah. And, to an extent, I believe this. And this is coming from someone who's a very hardworking person. But in all honesty, I'm going to be very blatantly honest here, not everyone is capable of that. And I'm not trying to be a dick by saying that, and I hate putting anybody down or saying they can't do something, which I never will in a million years. But for the people I've worked with, it's a huge success story for some of the people I've worked with in the past, just to be able to get to the gym. That's a huge accomplishment for them. Or just to get like a basic job is like huge for them. I've worked with a lot of people that struggle with extreme anxiety. I've worked in the mental health realm, schizophrenia, all that kind of stuff. And just sometimes people just have a hard time getting out of their own way. Of course, there is that category of people that, could be doing a lot better and are just being lazy and whatever else. But that is definitely not everyone. Okay? And there are some people that have such severe either illnesses or mental illnesses or just, I don't think we realize how common depression and anxiety is in our society. And I'll segue into anxiety in just a second. But a lot of people just have a hard time putting one foot in front of the other. And, I realize not everybody is wired to work extremely hard. I was watching this video the other day from this Australian guy who's doing really well for himself. He's a business owner or whatever, and he was saying how he did this whole video about working on Sunday and how, he should be working, everybody should be working on Sunday if they're not where they want to be. And kind of went into, anybody's capable of all this stuff, everything I just described, basically. And, I was kind of in the middle on it. I agreed with some of it, but then I didn't agree because I've experienced personally what the low-income population is like. I put them in that category because, honestly, I've been at low income before. I mean, I think many of you out there can probably relate to that. A lot of us in this country are low income, but we're always trying to keep up with the Kardashians, buy all this stuff to make us look good or whatever. And that's really not what's important in life. And getting back to that Australian guy's video, it was coming across like he was living in a complete bubble. Like he does not realize what a lot of the rest of the world is like. He thinks that everybody can be just like him. And that's what I mean about being in the bubble. In all honesty, I've been in a bubble before too, and it takes what I witnessed in New Orleans to kind of wake you up out of that bubble. And some people choose not to be, and they choose to look at these people as, F them, scum of the earth. They're so dirty and disgusting. And I look at them like, man, they really need some help. And we need, as a society, we have a lot of things we can improve upon in order to help these people. And I saw a great video the other day, which shows how, I forget which city it was, how they were giving these people, homeless people, jobs of cleaning up the city and being able to give them, and giving them money as a result to help them get on their feet. And I thought that was a phenomenal idea. Another phenomenal idea, which I am in 100% full support of, is a universal basic income. There's no reason that we should have people on the streets right now, and there's no reason that everybody should at least get what they need to survive. And if you want more, you work for it. You get a job, whatever. But universal basic income, would solve a lot of our problems. It would give people money to survive at the very least. Survive and be able to eat and be able to get basic shelter. I'm totally for that. I think there's a lot we can do when it comes to that. And I think this is stuff that we don't think about a lot because we're all wrapped up in our own lives and wrapped up in our own bubble of what we think other people should be like and what we think the world should be like, and people should be like us, and they should be able to accomplish exactly what we accomplish. And that's honestly not the case, guys. That's not the case. And like I said, this is coming from someone who is, a hard worker, who has accomplished a lot of things or whatever. I'm standing up for the people that really have our time with it because I've seen it firsthand. And I've worked with many people firsthand. I know where they're coming from. I know what they've been through, and I know what they're capable of in many cases. So some I've worked with for years. So when you see people on the street, when you see people that, you feel aren't living up to their expectations, have some sympathy for them, try to help them out. Don't look down on them. Treat them with just as much respect as any other person. That's kind of the message I wanted to bring today. Something else I want to touch on that I experienced in New Orleans is I experienced very high levels of anxiety while I was walking around there. And, for a while I thought it was just an unfamiliar city, being in very small areas with large crowds. And that could have, definitely played a role. But what I realized when I got home, because a lot of times I was very anxious, like in the hotel and stuff too. And then I thought about it, And if you guys have seen one of my episodes in the past on magnesium, it plays a huge role in preventing anxiety, and I'm always preaching about it. But I've realized I'd gotten off track with my intake of magnesium for the last, 2 or 3 weeks or so. And holy SHIT, it made a huge difference because I was not having it all week. And of course, when you're having any type of sugary food or processed food or even alcohol, your body drains itself of magnesium even faster, which can increase anxiety levels, which is exactly what we were doing last week, by the way. Was not a healthy week for me, but that's okay once in a while. You get back on track when you get back. But what I'm getting at here is once I got home and I started increasing my magnesium levels, holy shit, it's like night and day. Like I feel a million times better, a million times calmer, not freaking out or everything, was in crowds today, perfectly fine. And I realized just how significant it is to have magnesium. And you guys, if you want the full spiel on magnesium and anxiety, you can search for the past episode on magnesium. There's a whole thing on it. But essentially, magnesium is what relaxes our bodies. And we don't have it in our food. We don't have enough of it because of various reasons. One being that the soil is no longer as fertile. We get a lot more calcium, which is kind of like the tightening nutrient. And we don't get enough magnesium to counterbalance it. So it's almost essential that everybody takes some magnesium. Seriously, I'm not even joking on this. Magnesium, I cannot emphasize how well it works, but you have to keep it up and you have to treat it like a medication. Take it daily. I always recommend 400 milligrams, but talk to your doctor or even better, a naturopath before you decide to do that. You can also go get more information on my experience with magnesium for anxiety on healthhumorlife.com. There's a free ebook on the homepage, which talks about it, and as well as various other things. So you can get that over there. There's also talks about natural relief for depression. I believe I wrote about ED in there and insomnia and several other things. So you can go grab that book for free on healthhumorlife.com. So the rest of this podcast, I actually just want to talk about some of the healthier alcohols you can have because I get asked that question a lot. So I'm going to go into that in just a second, and then I'm going to go into something that was really mind-blowing, in a spiritual sense or in a I guess I don't know if I should say spiritual. It's just weird. But I'll tell you guys about this awesome app that totally blew my mind in just 1 second. Are you ready for a weight loss program for women unlike any else in the world? Do you want to learn how it's possible to eat desserts and sweets every single day without worrying about gaining a ton of weight, belly fat, arm fat, and every other kind of fat? Then check out the Lean Sweet Queen 21-day weight loss program, especially designed for ladies who love sweets. This program takes you step by step through exclusive nutrition strategies, allowing you to shed up to 9 pounds in 21 days while eating sweets daily, and then you can keep losing long after that. It's even accompanied by short bodyweight workouts you can perform right at home at your convenience. You'll never be bored through this program as we keep you engaged, motivated, and entertained the entire time. It's unlike anything else out there. Just ask these ladies.
The information I learned about vitamins and supplements and just nutrition in general was eye-opening.
Made me realize how important eating is.
Despite not having the time to commit to a workout every day, I was able to lose weight just by changing the way that I eat. And I thought that was just crazy to me. I thought, you have to kill yourself at the gym every day to lose any kind of weight, but it's just simply not true. I lost 7 pounds in 28 days, and I've lost 3 more since.
I've lost 25 pounds.
I have lost 3 inches from my waist.
It's really helped me when I never thought it would be possible to lose weight.
This program is wonderful. Do it. It's worth it.
If you're ready to take the next step, lose up to 9 pounds in 21 days and beyond while eating sweets every single day, then the Lean Sweet Queen program is just for you. Visit www.leansweetqueen.com to get your 100% free startup guide and video. Remember, this is for sweet-loving ladies only and is available just for a limited amount of time. So hurry and visit leansweetqueen.com now to claim your free startup guide and video. That's LeanSweetQueen.com. Lean Sweet Queen. Eat sweets, lose weight, repeat. And that is a wonderful new ad for the Lean Sweet Queen program, 21-day program for ladies. And if you try to go to leansweetqueen.com right now, it is currently down because I have changed it to a new provider. But if you're listening to this podcast in the future, it will be ready by the 4th week of March 2018. So it should be up there. It's a wonderful program. You heard testimonials from those ladies. That is a sponsor of this show. So getting into the last topics I want to talk about here, it'll be kind of a shorter episode today. Oops, I'm losing my train of thought here. Oh, there we go. Oh. Let me talk to you about alcohol, the healthier alcohols. I think I did an episode on this a while back, but just to answer it briefly. Okay, so beer is one of the worst fat-storing alcohols there is because it's very heavy, it's very carb-dense, and it's very fast-digesting, as most liquids are that are extremely high-calorie, etc. So beer is one of the worst offenders of fat, which is, you know what, I had a lot of beer this past week because beer is delicious, craft beer, whatever. I have to limit myself if I want to stay healthy. You know, if I could pick one food in the world that tastes so delicious that if it was healthy for you and had no negative effects, I would choose to have beer as that food. But unfortunately, that's not the case. So beer is one of the worst offenders. If you want to stay lean, like if you're someone who's trying to lose weight right now actively and you're someone who enjoys the occasional drink or whatever, I wouldn't recommend, binge drinking all the time or having drinks every single day, but some people really like that. And I mean, if you are that kind of person to do that, it's still possible to lose weight by doing that. You just have to have the right kind of alcohol. So your best bet is to use something like a plain seltzer and like any of the plain alcohols like rum, like Bacardi, any of those really. I would recommend the best thing to do is to get those pre-mixed seltzer cans there that have pretty much no sugar in them. They really do taste good. That's probably the healthiest you'll get as far as alcohol. So if you're someone that's trying to lose weight, a lot of us know it's important to keep the sugar low. It's important to keep the starch low. And to an extent, it's important to keep the calories to a reasonable level as well. But what we're really worried about is the hormonal reactions, okay? Calories, of course, play a role, are important. But we really want to avoid the fat-storing hormonal reactions, which is typically from fast-digesting foods and very sugary foods, okay? And the reason I've emphasized that a lot is because, you'll see people that, don't necessarily eat like a super high-calorie diet, but if they're eating a lot of sugar and all their meals are sugar, they'll still put on weight. And that's because of the effect that it has on fat storage. We know it's almost like filling up a water glass. We can afford so much sugar or starchy carbs or whatever, but after that storage facility gets full, which is in the muscles and the liver, then it starts overspilling into fat if we don't burn that sugar. So once those stores are full, then that's when fat storage begins to occur. So you guys might hear this as a broken record. So that's some little tidbit of information there. The last thing I want to talk about, which really blew me away. So I was tired one night over vacation, and I was just kind of hanging out in the hotel room, just looking at random apps on my phone. I'm new to Android. I was an iPhone user, but until iPhone kind of screwed me over on many occasions, and that battery issue was the last one of that. Long story short, I got that new battery. I don't know if those of you have heard, and this has happened to a lot of people. I actually got the new battery for the iPhone, for the older iPhone, because they said, it'll work like brand new. You go get the battery, it works like complete garbage still. It's definitely not a new battery. You know how your phone lasts for like forever when you first get it, and you don't even have to charge it for like a couple days? That was not the case. The battery was terrible, and the phone didn't speed up at all. So if you're one that's going to go get another battery from Apple, I wouldn't bother, because that is a bunch of BS right there. A bunch of BS. So I'm done with Apple. I'm not going to deal with a company that does that, and that's after being loyal for a long time. Back on track here. So I found this app, and it's called Palmistry. I believe it's called Palmistry, and it's a palm reading app. And it blew me away how accurate this freaking app was. How accurate this was. Because not only did it say a lot of things that are potential in the future, but it also told me a lot about myself, like in huge detail, like major detail, all from just scanning my palm. I was blown away, and I tried to find another app like this, like try out the other palm readers, and they're all completely terrible. Like, they barely even work. But this one is just unbelievable. Like, I recommend trying it. It's Palmistry. Like, the accuracy of it and the detail is just amazing. I actually paid to see the more details. So you get like a free version of it, and I actually paid to see more detail of it, and it was just incredible. I absolutely just blew me away on the level of detail of information that it has in that app. And they are not sponsoring this show at all. This is something that just completely blew me away. And it's very accurate. And a lot of times you'll see a lot of BS apps out there, or, BS mediums or psychics. And I've witnessed, great ones, and I've witnessed terrible ones. And the way you kind of tell the difference is you first have them tell you something that, stop messaging me, people. I gotta shut my phone off. As Steve Austin says, If your phone goes off, you owe your audience a beer. So what happens, how you tell a good medium or a good, I mean, this is the first time I've ever come across an app like this that was this powerful and this accurate. But how you tell if you're talking to a good medium or not is make them tell you about yourself first. Like, make them tell you in detail about yourself. Like, this app, just from reading a palm, told me everything I had been going through in like a love life, in a financial life, in just a career life, just everything. It's unreal. So I highly recommend checking it out. And that's the same deal when it goes for a medium. You learn stuff from them that they can tell you about yourself that you already know. And then you can kind of validate whether this person is worth listening to or not. So I tried another app randomly out, which I forget what it's called on there, but I deleted it right after because it was like this app where you can get like a 5-minute or get like a quick reading from someone, from a medium, by asking a question. And this girl it was only $5, so it was like St. Patrick's Day special or something. So I paid $5, got this reading from this girl, and it was completely like just did not resonate with me at all. It was terrible. She told me nothing about myself. She tried to give me like an exact date, and that's something I feel like a good medium will not try to do either, like a real one. They don't really give exact dates. So that's kind of just a little tidbit on how to tell with that, if you're believers in that stuff. I'm a huge spiritual person. I've witnessed many paranormal things, as well as very positive mediums and psychics who are intuitive healers who have really helped me a ton in my life as far as guidance and everything. So I definitely know that they are very real, but you have to find the right one. You have to follow your own intuition and find someone who resonates with you. With that said, I'm going to end this podcast right here. Next week is Shofanda Jones, and I'm going to leave you with another clip from that podcast, because let me tell you, it's going to be the most entertaining podcast you will ever listen to. I had to hold back laughter while interviewing her the entire time. So here's a preview of her. Tune in next week. Subscribe, guys. Get the free ebook online. And I thank you for listening, and thank you for all your support. We are slowly growing thanks to you. And my way of giving back is if you guys want to hear a specific topic, please email me on the site. And also, if you're able to give us a review, that is extremely appreciated, and we would potentially bring you on the show or read your review on the show as well. Just leave a positive review, send a screenshot of it to the email on healthhumorlife.com, and we'll see what we can do. All right, thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next week with Shofanda Jones on the podcast.
As long as if I met Trump in person, he not looking at my titties and trying to grab my vagina. Because I see in previous stories, things on the news and such, he been talking about grabbing pussies and things,
Thank you for listening to the Health Humor Life podcast. I really appreciate your support, guys. I just want to take a moment to remind you that you can join our email list, view show notes and the blog, as well as get some free guides on healthhumorlife.com. The guides includes various topics, including how I lost my 50 pounds in 3 months, how I was able to naturally cure my chronic anxiety, depression, insomnia, lower blood pressure, eradicate erectile dysfunction, and much, much more. I put these together from what I've been through to help all of you who may be struggling with these issues too. You can also request topics or apply to be a guest on the website too. And you can do all this by just visiting healthhumorlife.com. As always, if you have a minute to leave us a positive review on the podcast listening station of your choice, I would really appreciate it, and it helps us out a ton. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time. I'm Matt Michael.